See, right now, we're sending food to Somalia, but it's not getting to the people who need it because it's being intercepted by warlords. Your McNugget is released from Great Britain to Somalia, intercepted by warlords.
Cutting spending is like kryptonite to Democrats. There is not one single dollar they would ever choose to pull back from the budget, no matter how wasteful that expenditure is determined to be. However, according to people like George Stephanopoulos, any cut in funding from, say, places like USAID, which thankfully is gone, results in the death of people around the world. But what we're going to see today, of course, is Marco Rubio putting George Stephanopoulos in his place in a truly tremendous fashion. But before we begin, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on this video so we can break through the algorithms. Here we go.
You and others in the administration have said several times that no one has died because of the administration's cuts to humanitarian aid and the shuttering the Agency for International Development. A host of international aid organizations have disputed that. They've detailed how many lives have been lost. Also, Nick Kristof of the New York Times had an extensive piece in the New York Times on Sunday, firsthand reporting on the deaths being caused by the cuts in aid. And he went on to say this. I want to show a tweet he put up. He said, I also obtained an internal Trump administration memo stating that the cost of shutting down USAID is $6.4 billion over 2 years. That sum could save more than 1 million children's lives. Instead, it is being spent to shut down programs that saves lives. How do you account for that? How do you respond?
Well, that wasn't a memo. That was somebody who wrote an email giving their opinion internally. That is not an official document. That's someone who didn't agree with our decision. This is not about cutting aid. We're going to do aid.
It does cost money to shut down AID, doesn't it? That's a fact.
No, we didn't shut it down. We moved, well, a couple things. We shut down AID because it was a dysfunctional organization. We moved it under the State Department. Number two, we are going to do more foreign aid than any country in the world. We're going to do more than anyone in the world, again, this year. But we're going to do it the right way. We're going to do it holistically. We're going to do it as part of an integrated foreign policy. We are not going to fund an NGO industrial complex that built itself up, that was taking a substantial percentage of the money and not going directly to the recipients. It was going to these organizations that had multi-billion-dollar projects and budgets. We're not going to continue to do it that way. We are going to provide aid. We're providing aid now. We just rolled out our new initiative on health. It's going to be much more successful and much more effective. We're going to enter into direct compacts with the countries. We're going to empower our embassies and our ambassadors to direct which projects we fund and how much money countries are going to be receiving. So we are restructuring the way we do aid. It's going to be far more effective, and it's going to be integrated into our holistic foreign policy.
That's all in the future. But are you standing by that comment? You're saying that no one has died?
No, it's happening now. That's
no
not in the future.
No one has died
now.
Because of the aid cuts? Are all those aid organizations lying?
That's ridiculous. Well, first of all, then they died because England didn't give enough money, or Canada didn't give more, or China did. Let's blame the other countries that don't do any foreign aid. How about China? I mean, China's the second largest economy in the world. They don't give money to these projects.
So you're no longer disputing that the aid cuts have cost people's lives. You're no longer disputing that.
It didn't. I think anybody who tells you that somehow it's the United States, if we cut $1, somehow we're responsible for some horrific thing that's going on in the world is just not true. Beyond that, I would say that in some of these places that they cite, the reason why the aid didn't get there,
someone's going to die.
One of the reasons why some of these places didn't get the aid is not because we cut the aid. It's because there's a war going on and the aid never got to the people. So in Sudan, for example, it's not just a humanitarian catastrophe, it's a war zone. Okay, the aid is stolen, the aid is impeded. In fact, they use aid as a tool against the people, and so blocking aid is a tool and an arm of war. So in some of these places, the reason why the aid isn't getting there is it can't be distributed. Look at Haiti. One of the reasons why aid can't be distributed in Haiti is you can send all the aid in the world you want. It gets hijacked and stolen by criminal gangs that control the country. And so they're the ones to blame for whatever happening there, not us who provided more aid than anybody else.
Let me just try one more time.
Africa,
are you standing by
every part of the world?
Are you standing by your contention that no one has died
because the United States has cut aid? No. People have died because gangs steal the aid. People have died because the distributors of aid have not done well. People have died because other countries haven't stepped up. But the United States has saved more lives and continues to save more lives than any other country in the world. And we're going to continue to do it, but we're going to do it the right way and in a responsible way. We're not going to continue to pour billions of dollars out the door of American taxpayer funds for programs that don't work and in some cases were flat out corrupt.
So clearly, George Stephanopoulos is still of the mindset, for some reason, that every single dollar that America spends in aid to foreign nations is actually going to feed starving children, to help war-torn countries. But you and I remember that that was not exactly what was happening, because we had many instances of waste, fraud, and abuse, right? You had DEI initiatives, 1.5 million going to Serbia, all right? You had cultural productions like DEI musicals in Ireland, $70,000, transgender operas in Colombia, $47,000, LGBTQ activism in Kenya and Guatemala, $15 million and $2 million respectively. Okay, this was money from our pockets being sent overseas. For what purpose? Were they feeding starving children? All right, no, they were not. And George Stephanopoulos actually makes the point that, oh, if you're not spending $1 in food, then clearly someone's not getting that food. How much food could we have sent to people if we didn't have these horrible initiatives? All the money being funded into NGOs and then magically finding its way into people's pockets. And that, of course, brings about the corruption aspect, right? From Fox News, we have a federal contracting officer and 3 businessmen have pleaded guilty in a scheme involving bribes like cash, NBA tickets, and country club weddings in a scandal the Department of Justice said was part of a $550 million scam. All right. So yes, there was waste, fraud, and abuse. The money was not just going to feeding starving children. Our tax dollars were being siphoned away from America, from helping American citizens and sent all over the world for who knows what. But according to George Stephanopoulos, the Trump administration is responsible for children starving around the world. All right. But I love the way that Marco Rubio puts it. We haven't cut any actual aid to anyone. Yes, USAID has been shut down because the place was basically corrupt. There was no idea about where the money was going. Everything was just rubber stamped and spent right out the door. But now, of course, it's simply reverted back to the State Department, and maybe we can get some closer oversight moving into the future. But I love the point that Marco Rubio actually makes where he's talking about, hey, why is America the only country responsible for actually sending aid around the world? What about England? What about Canada? What about China? Of all places, what do they actually do for other countries? And by the way, I don't think we should be spending as much as we do on foreign aid. I'm not saying we should cut it out completely because other places around the world do need some help, but hey, this is an America First agenda. We have our own veterans to take care of. We have our own homeless problem. We have our own people who actually need help in this country, and yet we're shipping off money by the truckload to other nations. And a lot of the aid we do ship off does in fact get intercepted by warlords in countries from Africa and the Middle East and Haiti. All right, we've seen this over and over again, where we give people aid, it's collected by the people who are in power, and then either resold to prop up the governments or parsed out to people who they think are deserving. And we see this played out time and time again. So yes, Marco Rubio, good job for pointing out that America is not the only game in town. We're actually cutting wasteful spending while keeping a lot of other actual aid alive, and of course doing it in a way that is more beneficial for Americans. So thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, and say hi to your mom for me. Do you like t-shirts? Of course you do. And now you can support the channel by buying an Angry Teacher t-shirt designed by me, Angry Teacher. So if you like America, if you like freedom, if you like liberty, then go ahead and click the link in the description where all designs, of course, are 100% mother approved. So enjoy yourself and find something you like today.